Hey guys, now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a charging solution from Anker that's going to charge all your electronic devices. We're talking about laptops, we're talking about tablets, cell phones, any kind of smart device that can use a USB-C charge is going to be able to take care of the solution. We're talking about the Anker Prime, and this is the 27K version, and it also contains a docking station. Let's go and check it out. Hey guys, now in today's video, we're taking a look at charging solutions from Anker. They're going to charge your laptop, tablet, smartphone, earbuds, you name it. Anything that can charge through a USB-C cable, you're going to be able to charge with this guy. We're talking about the Anker Prime 27K. And this is a fantastic charger. It's going to charge all your products. And it comes with a docking station that outputs incredible power. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now, this battery solution from Anker is incredibly versatile and is super smart. It packs power. We're talking about 27,650 milliamp hours of power. And it also has a smart app, and this app is going to tell you everything about your charging experience, information about the actual battery itself, and because this battery is intelligent, it also will update via firmware. And we're going to take a look at some of the things that you'll be seeing there. Now, what sets this battery apart is, again, the power. We're talking about 140 watts of power just from one port. Pretty crazy. You can also charge this, right? We're talking about super fast charging rates that are going to really cut the time it takes to charge a battery like this. Oh, and by the way, if you're thinking about, can I carry this on my next business trip, right, or family vacation? The answer is yes. Will make it through the TSA process without a problem. Now, from a recharging perspective, we're talking about 170 watt recharging. Pretty crazy. 100 watt recharging just with this base. So if you're just using the base, you're going to get 100 watts of charging. Now, the cool thing about this is to get that higher charging rate that I talked about, you have two USB-C ports there that you'll see in a couple seconds. But what you could do is you could use two ports to really double up the charging to get even a faster charging rate. It charges really, really fast. Now, this is going to be able to charge multiple devices, up to 4 devices at a time. It will charge 3 devices at a time. It all depends on, again, the combination, if you have the base or not connected. So there's a lot of different options, and the charging rates you're going to see in a couple seconds, how they vary based on how you charge. Now, it does have a USB-A port that is capable of delivering up to 250 watts of power. That is pretty spectacular when it comes to being able to charge your devices. It's going to be able to boost your, let's say, MacBook Pro, for example, with an M2 chipset to 50% in just 28 minutes. That's how fast this is going to charge. And it also has power delivery 3.1. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a closer look at this battery. We're going to do some charging tests so you can see what kind of power is coming out of it. And you'll see why this is definitely, if you have a lot of devices, the battery power solution that you'll want to get. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now, one of the things I wanted to highlight before we start taking a close look at this battery is that this is using some proprietary technology from Anker that basically allows them to stack the batteries in a way that you're going to get higher capacity at a very small, compact size. So when you look at this and you compare it to other batteries of, let's say, its size or power output, you're going to find that this is a lot smaller. Now, the battery is super smart. It's going to adjust its power output based on the demand of the device and also the ports that you're using. So for example, as you can see here, if you're just charging using one port, you're going to be able to get from a USB-C port 140 watts. Doesn't matter which one you use. Now, if you combine that with some of the other ports, or let's say you use a different port, if you use the USB-A one, you're only going to get 65 watts of power out. Again, this is if you're using a single port. Now, if you're using 2 ports, you'll be able to see from the USB-A side, you can get 100 watts out of one, 140 out of the other. If you're using the USB-A and a USB-C combination, you'll get 140 from one and 65 from another. Again, this is pretty incredible given the amount of power that it could actually output. Now, if you happen to be using all 3 ports, you can expect 140 watts from one port, 92 watts from the second, and then 18 watts from the third. Again, the power will be distributed throughout the charger as you're being used. Blah, 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 blah. Now, if you happen to be using all 3 ports, you can expect to get 92 watts from one USB-C, 140 from the other, and you'll get 18 watts from the USB-A. But still, again, giving you tremendous power output throughout each one of these ports. And keep in mind that your device, as it's drawing power, it's going to determine also what's the maximum power rate as well. Now, the docking station that you see here is also going to be able to provide output. It actually has in the back, and you'll see that really close up, it has a charging port that you'll connect. So this is like a GAN charger. Now, the cool thing about this is depending on your usage and, again, what you're plugging into, you're going to be able to get a total 100 watts out. And, again, you basically have 4 ports, one that is charging the battery, and then 3 other ones that you can use. So USB-A and 2 USB-C. Now, one more configuration option that I just want to share with you that's going to show, again, the flexibility of this charger. And as you can see, there are a lot of different options. You basically are going to have power delivery distributed throughout each one of these ports, depending on your usage. The bottom line is that based on the device or based on the port, you're going to get different power ratings. So if you're wanting to charge at a faster rate, just make sure that you're plugged into the right port. But keep in mind that it's going to charge your battery and it's going to charge whatever device you have connected to it at a very fast rate. This is a really convenient solution. I really like it because this means that I can eliminate a charging solution by having this as my all-in-one charger for not just the battery for when I'm on the go, but also my electronics that are power-demanding devices. Now, while the battery is available on its own, I do have the solution that includes the actual, again, the base itself that's going to give you that extra power. What you'll see here is the battery itself. It is a little bit thick. So if you notice, this is about 2 inches thick. And it does come with a nice little travel bag, and you can see the charging ports on the top. It has a really nice display that not only is going to give you information about how much battery you have, but you'll notice that there's a little blinking symbol here is because it's Bluetooth enabled as well. So you can actually have an app that's going to show you what's going on in the battery, and also what it's going to do is it will allow you to do firmware updates, all this type of configuration. It even has the ability to find the actual battery in the case you misplace it. In addition to this, we have our bag, our travel pouch. You do have a USB-C cable, dual-sided, that you can use for charging, a electrical cord, right? And then you have the dock. And the dock has some pogo pins here that pretty much what ends up happening is this guy just locks in. It's battery based, and if it's connected, it's going to start to charge. On the sides here, you can see that you have your ports, USB-A to USB-C, and you saw that there's a lot of configuration choices when you connect these to charge. So a lot of options, but what we're going to do is focus on the charging abilities of the battery. Now, looking at the battery, you have 2 USB-C ports, 1 USB-A port. On the side, you have a power button, and this is a multi-function button. When you press it, it's going to cycle through various things. So you notice that Bluetooth is enabled. You can see here just different information screens or menus, depending on if you have anything connected or not. And it's just going to go ahead and cycle. It also has a timeout value for the screen, right? Brightness for the screen, we have it at medium, and then it comes back to the battery level. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to one of these ports, this battery meter, just so that we can see what's going on. And we're going to see two things, actually. We're going to see a display taking place on the actual battery, right? And you're going to see one here as well. And this is going to show you the output of what the battery is outputting. By the way, the Smart app is also going to give you a lot of information. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plug in my Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. And, a couple things I'm looking for. I'm looking for super fast charging, and then I'm also looking at the wattage that it's actually charging. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in, and I may have to remove the case, so let's go ahead and do that really quick. And once we do that, we'll go ahead and plug this in. Okay, go ahead and plug it in. All right, so now it's connected. We can see, let's turn this way, we can see like the power output that's coming out. So we have 2630 watts of power coming out. You'll notice that it's PD power as well. And then over here, you see on the display, we actually see on the display itself the same information. So you have how much power is being drawn. Now, if you go back to the actual, we'll go back to here to my phone. Let me go ahead and unlock it. I'm going to go ahead and connect this again just so that you can see this. Once I plug this in, I'm going to see one of 3 colors, right? I'm looking for a light blue. The light blue means that this is super fast charging. Let's watch it. Light blue, which means super fast charging. So this is super fast charging this phone, which is exactly what I would expect. Now, there's a couple things that are going on here. So first of all, I want to show you how much information you're getting from the actual Anker display. First of all, you can see how much battery is left on the battery. You can see the power remaining time. You can also see the actual watts that are being outputted. And you can see that with my monitor here that it's actually coinciding with what's going on here. This monitor is actually changing every couple seconds as it's monitoring. So this is more of a static of 34.4 watts, which is something I really like. So what we're going to do next is we're going to connect another device to it to see, what changes and how it does power distribution. This other cable here is also going to have a little monitor, so we'll be able to see what it reports out of the Anker and also what's reporting on our monitor on the cable itself. Now the next device I'm going to connect is the Samsung Galaxy Flip. We're booting it up right now. The battery was 0, so I put some charge into it. And as soon as we connect this in, we're going to see what charging rate we're going to get. So again, super fast charging taking place, and super fast charging is still taking place on both devices, by the way, which I really love. So we have 2 devices charging super fast. Now, in addition to that, you can see our output here, right? So it says that right now this phone is only drawing around 6 watts or 8 watts. It all depends on what the phone is asking for, and it will change as it's continually used. Now, if I bring this back into view, and we have the phone there charging, one of the things that you'll see, and we'll make sure that that's in focus for you, is that we have still 31 watts coming out of one port, and then we have 6.3 coming out of the next. You'll notice that our battery percent, what we have in the actual battery, has gone down a little bit, but that's fine because that's what it's supposed to do. And you can see still that our monitor, that you can see right there, is still measuring an accurate output of that one port. I'm only measuring the one going to the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my MacBook Pro, and this does have the M2 chipset. And you'll see here that I'm going to plug it in the side, and it's going to start to charge. And you hear kind of like that bong sound that you get from any kind of Apple device when it's charging. So this is charging now, and as we take a look at what's going on here, you're going to notice that there is 10 watts of power, 10 watts of power being pulled by that port. Again, information continues to get updated in real time, and as I look at the cable, it's confirming that that's the amount of power that's being drawn. Now, notice how it's going up now. So the actual MacBook Pro is going to continue to draw as it needs, and you'll still see, again, because of the power of this battery, that it should be able to negotiate both. Now, to make things more interesting, I've connected now my MacBook Pro and my iPad Pro, and you can notice that, once again, it's pulling power from each. Now, what I did differently with the Mac is that I opened it up and I actually powered it out because I wanted the screen to be powered, and by doing that, I'm drawing more. Now, I'm drawing 24 watts and only 9 watts from my iPad as it's charging my iPad. So you can see that I'm charging multiple devices at the same time. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to leave these here for a couple seconds, and I'm going to go to the app so that you can see what's going on in the app, because the app is also pretty powerful, and it's actually the phone that I'm using as part of this review. So that S24 Ultra is where I have the app on. So let's go ahead and switch to the app now. Now, the Anker app for the battery is pretty powerful. So you can see here that I have the Prime Power Bank listed. All I'm going to do is click on it. And then basically it's giving me information about what's taking place. It's the exact same information that you saw taking place on the actual screen. And so you can see that I have 9 watts of power, 22 watts, how it's distributed, how much is left in the battery as it's powering up these devices. If I had my USB-A connected, it would also tell me this as well. Now, total output of 31 watts, right? Telling me the temperature of the battery. And then, this is all cumulative charge data, great analytics information. Now, you'll notice at the very bottom that you do have Find My Device type capabilities, which makes there's like a little chirper or I would say buzz that comes from the device when you're actually using it. It's not super loud, but it's definitely going to be something that's going to help you find it if you've misplaced it and the Bluetooth is connected. So that's a cool feature. Here is another great feature that I really like. You can actually put in the phones and the devices that you have, and it's going to tell you how much it can charge based on the capacity of the battery and then the device itself. So MacBook Pro, to get it to 100%, it's going to charge it at least one time. iPad, 1.4 times. Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, 3.1 times. And then over here we have the iPhone 15 Pro Max, 3.5 times, based on, again, getting to 100%. Now, you could add any device you want. It's a little bit manual. I wish they had more of a database, but you definitely just type in the device name, you type in the battery capacity. I wish they had a database of that as well. And then what you do is either choose the milliamp hours or the watt hours, and then, what do you want the battery health to be? So that's something that you'd be able to do. So we'll go back to this. I do love this display. I love being able to see everything that's going on here. And I love the fact that I can firmware update this device. I actually updated it as soon as I got it to a new firmware version. And again, great capabilities here. You combine this with your docking station, you have an incredibly powerful solution. All right, now I want to show you what takes place once we plug in the battery into the docking station or the base. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's battery, it's magnetically connected. And what you'll see is that you get this little light turn on, and it's going to tell you that it's going to start charging. And again, let me look at this charging rate really quick. The charging rate in this case, again, is going to be 100 watts. and it's going to tell you right on screen there how many minutes is it going to take to get to a full charge. So at 100 watts, it's telling us that it's going to take about 8 minutes to get fully charged. That's pretty crazy. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.